Have you ever paused to wonder if ancient practices, honed over thousands of years, might actually hold secrets that modern science is only just, beginning to uncover? What if a ritual, performed for millennia, could surprisingly be a powerful, measurable tool for not just environmental health, but also our personal well-being today? Well, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're not just scratching the surface. We are plunging into a truly fascinating intersection of deep-rooted tradition and cutting-edge scientific inquiry. Our focus is a profound and comprehensive work titled The Integrated Science of Yagna, primarily authored by Shriram Sharma Acharya and meticulously compiled by Dr. Rajani Joshi. This isn't simply about revisiting history, it's about exploring potential scientifically verifiable solutions for some of our most pressing contemporary challenges.
And that's precisely what makes this deep dive so compelling. The source material here is, well, it's far more than a mere philosophical treatise. It's an extensive compilation of writings that delve into Yagna's philosophical bedrock, its intricate scientific mechanisms, the very tangible environmental benefits it offers, its specific medicinal applications with a term Yagnopathy, and even its more subtle spiritual dimensions. What truly underpins this incredible scope is the background of the main author, Shriram Sharma Acharya. He's described as a spiritual saint, a social reformer, a scholar, and strikingly, a scientist. His dedication was immense. He was incredibly prolific, writing around, 3,000 books, and he founded several key research institutions, including the Brahmavarkas Research Institute in Hardwar, specifically dedicated to integrating modern and ancient sciences.
Right. So our mission today is crystal clear. We want to unpack this wealth of information for you, to distill the most important nuggets of knowledge, and to give you a clear, well-informed understanding of Yagna. We're looking at it not just as a ritual, but as a robust system with tangible, measurable effects and, frankly, profound potential. We'll explore how this ancient practice offers a unique perspective on addressing modern challenges, from pollution to stress, aiming to provide you with those genuine aha moments and multiple perspectives without, overwhelming you with a data dump.
Exactly. At its heart, this deep dive asks a fundamental question, one that truly bridges ancient wisdom with contemporary needs. Can a practice so deeply rooted in ancient Indian culture truly offer scientifically verifiable solutions for our complex modern world?
So, with that overarching mission in mind, let's peel back the layers and truly understand what Yagna is at its core. Because, as the source reveals, it's profoundly more than just lighting a fire. The authors frame Gayatri and Yagna as the building blocks of divine development of human culture and civilization. Now, that's a powerful statement. How should we understand this foundational relationship?
It's quite profound, really. Gayatri represents the original knowledge, you could say the pure wisdom, and Yagna is the corresponding creativity and action that flows from that knowledge. So they're presented not as separate entities, but as two complementary, indeed inseparable forces. You can't have true effective action without knowledge, and knowledge finds its purpose in constructive action. This isn't just an abstract idea. It's positioned as the very foundation upon which a thriving, spiritually advanced, and scientifically progressive human culture is built.
That makes a lot of sense, seeing them as two sides of the same coin. And their roots go way, way back deep into the Vedas, which essentially signify this complementary role. The Yajurveda, for instance, is particularly relevant here as it contains the precise principles and methods for performing yagnas, describing them as spiritual and scientific experiments for global welfare. But as you hinted, it's not just about the physical fire. The Atharvaveda touches upon the sound therapy aspects of mantras, using vibrations for healing, and the Samaveda goes even further, focusing on the intricate musical chanting patterns. It even defines yagna in a subtle form as a mental oblation, a kind of internal offering on our emotions, influenced by cosmic radiation. So the scope is truly immense, from the physical to the purely mental.
Exactly. This breadth is crucial to understanding the full picture. If we look at the literal meaning, yagna translates quite beautifully as selfless sacrifice for noble purposes. This immediately broadens our perspective beyond the physical act. It's a profound philosophical stance. The source beautifully articulates this as a call to sacrifice our ego, our selfishness, our material attachments. It encourages us to cultivate rational thinking, humane compassion, and dedicated creativity for the welfare of all. This, the authors state, is the best yagna which should be performed by all human beings, promoting harmony and higher humane values throughout society.
That's a powerful insight. The tree yagna isn't just an external ritual, but an internal transformation. It asks us to look inward and consider how we contribute to the collective good. To give you a sense of just how broad this philosophy is, the source also mentions non-physical yagnas. We hear about Seva Yagna, which is all about altruistic service.
Right, selfless service.
Dhyanya, enlightening, lives with knowledge, and pranayanya, dedicated to saving lives and inspiring profound respect for life itself. This really underscores that yagna, at its core, is a deeply ethical and philosophical framework that guides benevolent action in the world.
What's truly fascinating here, and where we start to bridge that philosophical depth with the scientific, is how this profound ethical philosophy, which you've just so eloquently laid out, translates into a tangible physical process. The book emphasizes that, and in physical terms, Yagna is a process aimed at the refinement of the subtle energy existing in matter with the help of thermal energy of the mantras. Now, subtle energy here refers to the underlying, unseen, energetic potential within physical substances, something akin to an energetic signature that modern science is, well, only now starting to conceptualize, beyond just their chemical composition. This immediately brings us to a bridge between these two worlds, where the abstract becomes tangible and open to investigation.
That distinction between the philosophical and the physical is incredibly helpful. And the source clarifies that when these experiments of yagna are performed at a smaller, daily scale, they're often called havan or Agnihotra. So when you hear those terms, think of them as accessible daily versions of this larger scientific spiritual process. The knowledge of Yagna's underlying science is presented as being as essential for understanding and experimenting with the science of spirituality as, say, elementary physics is for material sciences. It's portrayed as a fundamental piece of knowledge that opens up a whole new realm of understanding.
Okay, so moving from the what to the fascinating how, the scientific components of Yagna are truly the core of this deep dive. The foundational premise is that Yagna strategically combines two basic energy systems present in the physical world: the heat generated from Yagna's fire and the sound produced by the Gayatri and other mantras. The goal is to combine these to achieve the desired physical, psychological, and even spiritual benefits. The fumigation of specific substances in the Yagna fire is described as a scientific method of subtilization of matter into energy.
Subtilization. Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It means transforming physical matter into a more subtle, energetic form, basically expanding its potential and positive effects into the surrounding atmosphere far more powerfully than if it were just burned conventionally. And the electromagnetic waves generated by this process are believed to help in transmitting, at a cosmic level, the desired sonic signals that are stored or encoded within the mantras. So this raises an important question. How do these components interact so precisely, almost like a targeted natural technology, to yield such wide-ranging effects?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How exactly do these various components, the specific materials, the heat, the sound, come together to create some profound, multifaceted effects? Can you walk us through that intricate dance of chemistry and energy, starting with the materials themselves? Because it's clear these aren't just any old kindling. The source dives into the diverse substances offered, called havisha or havan samagri, emphasizing that their specific properties are crucial for the desired chemical and energetic changes.
Absolutely. What's fascinating about the havisha, or offerings, is that they're not just random ingredients. The source reveals a highly intentional categorization designed for specific effects. We're talking about a blend of elements from the foundational woods that provide thermal energy, to aromatic compounds for atmospheric purification, and even nutritional and medicinal components all working synergistically. The key insight here is the deep understanding of how material properties contribute to a holistic outcome, far beyond simple burning.
Okay, let's break down these groups. First, we have the wood, or samitas. This wood must be dry, free from dust, insects, worms, and cut into specific stick lengths according to the size of the altar. Examples include sandalwood, deodar, mango, and peepal. Each type of wood, the source implies, is selected for particular properties and energetic contributions.
Exactly. Then there are the odoriferous substances, which, tantalize our senses and hint at aromatic, purifying effects. Think of fragrant ingredients like saffron, musk, agar, tagar, chandan, sandalwood, ilapino cardamom, jafal nutmeg, havitri mace, and camphor. These are what give yagna its distinctive, often deeply pleasant scent, which, as we'll see, is more than just pleasant. It has a real function.
Right. Next, we have the healthy constituents, which suggest nutritional or purifying elements. This category includes clarified butter, known as ghee, milk, various fresh fruits, and essential cereals like wheat, rice, barley, till sesame, chana, chickpeas, arhar, pigeon peas, and masoor, red lentils or peas. These are not just symbolic offerings, they're integral to the chemical reactions happening.
Precisely. The fourth group comprises sweet substances such as sugar, dried grapes, honey, and juhara, dried dates. These contribute to energy release and, perhaps surprisingly, atmospheric cleansing.
And finally, a very important category is medicinal herbs. These are used as per specific requirement, hinting at targeted therapeutic effects. The source lists examples like samalata or giloya, brahmi, shankpushpi, nagkesar, mulhati, red chandan, baheta, sant, and harad. The selection of these herbs depends on the specific purpose or ailment the yagna aims to address. It's also notable that Havan Samagri is readily available in the market today, often as a crude powder mix of various ingredients like sawdust, wood chips, kapurkachari, guggul, and others. So this practice, despite its ancient roots, isn't esoteric or hard to access even in our modern world.
And that's where the magic, or rather the science, truly begins to unfold. The combination of these specific materials in the Yagna fire initiates a highly complex combustion process. While the source acknowledges that interpreting the exact chemical changes is challenging due to the myriad of varying properties and often unspecified conditions, it meticulously details the key factors involved. These include the nature and proportions of the substances, the precise temperature attained, the controlled air supply within the kunda, and the dynamic interactions among all the products formed during combustion.
So it's really a controlled chemical reaction.
Very much so. For instance, the way the samitas, the chosen wood sticks, are arranged in the Agnikunda, along with specific temperature conditions, which can range from 250 degrees to 600 degrees C in the kunda itself, and astonishingly up to 1200 degrees to 1300 degrees C in the flames.
Wow, that's hot.
It is. And the carefully regulated air supply leads not just to complete combustion, but also significant vaporization of the wood. This isn't just wood burning, it's a controlled release of its essence. Then there's the fascinating aspect of steam volatilization of the odorous substances. Many volatile constituents within the havisha have boiling points that allow them to diffuse readily into the atmosphere. Crucially, when cellulose and other carbohydrates in the wood burn, they form copious quantities of steam. This steam acts as an excellent carrier, helping substances like thymol, eugenol, pine, and terpenol spread widely. This is precisely how the aroma of a yagna can be smelt even at a considerable distance, carrying its effects far beyond the immediate altar. Additionally, the smoke generated with its fine colloidal particles also aids in the diffusion of these aromatic compounds, its reach influenced by temperature and wind direction.
Okay, so the steam is key for spreading the aroma and maybe other things too.
Absolutely. And then the combustion of fatty substances, primarily ghee and vegetable fats, plays a vital, almost catalytic role. Ghee, for example, helps accelerate the combustion of the wood. As these fats burn, their fatty acids easily volatilize. The glycerol portion of these fats then produces compounds like acetone bodies, pyruvic aldehyde, and glyoxyl. Furthermore, hydrocarbons undergoing a slow combustion process form substances such as methyl and ethyl alcohols, formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, formic acid, and acetic acids. These particular compounds, as we'll discuss, have incredibly important implications for environmental purification. It's a deliberate chemistry at play.
Formaldehyde, like the disinfectant.
Exactly like that. And here's where it truly gets captivating. The photochemical process. When all these volatile substances are diffused into the surrounding atmosphere, they aren't just left to dissipate. The source claims they are further subjected to photochemical reactions in the sunlight. This is why performing yagna in the presence of strong sunlight is specifically recommended. These changes happen in the ultraviolet and other short wavelength regions, leading to photochemical decomposition, oxidation, and reduction of the fumigation products. Critically, and this is a significant environmental claim, the source states that even some CO2 produced is reduced to formaldehyde. And remarkably, oxygen is liberated through a specific reaction. CO2 plus H2O plus 112,000 calories of energy yields HTHO, formaldehyde plus O2. From an environmental angle, the reduction of CO2 produced in yagna and the liberation of oxygen cannot be overemphasized. It points to a process that actively cleanses and rejuvenates the atmosphere, rather than merely adding to it.
That's an incredible revelation about CO2. It certainly flips our conventional understanding of combustion. And it's not just about the chemical reactions in the air, but also the physical structure where the fire is contained. The altar itself, the Agnikunda, or Havan Kunda, has a unique, almost iconic design. It's described as having an inverted pyramid shape, and the source links this to the ancient meaning of pyramid as fire in the middle. This shape isn't arbitrary. It's widely believed to generate and store a special energy field that possesses bacteriostatic properties. phase. This allows for controlled generation and multidirectional dissipation of energy, essentially acting as a generator of unusual energy fields that spreads them into the surrounding atmosphere. So the structure itself is an active component, not just a container.
That's a great way to put it. For daily Agnihotra, a smaller precise copper pot is specified. Its dimensions are highly exact. 14.5 centimeters by 14.5 centimeters at the top, capering to 5.25 centimeters by 5.25 centimeters at the bottom, with a height of 6.5 centimeters and 3 distinct steps. Copper is chosen for its excellent conduction of electricity and heat, which is a crucial detail. This Agnihotra pot is said to receive, generate, and decentralize an electrosphere. Now, electrosphere here refers to a localized, beneficial electromagnetic field created and distributed by the specific design of materials, which the source suggests can link to broader cosmic energy fields affecting the environment at a profound, unseen level. It's presented as an effective bacteriostatic and antimicrobial reactor. The source notes that for large yagnas, these dimensions are proportionately increased, and the kundas are made of specific combinations of clays, often using special symmetric geometrical designs to generate particular energy fields and cosmic currents. It really is a precise engineered system designed to interact with known and subtle energies.
Okay, so we have the materials, the heat, the photochemistry, the specific shape of the kunda. This brings us to another critical component, and it raises an important question. How does sound play such a pivotal role in this carefully constructed process?
That's a great question. The power of sound vibrations is a long-acknowledged field in various scientific disciplines, and the source asserts that these vibrations can penetrate the energy spheres at the subtle and cosmic levels. It's about more than just auditory perception. It's about vibrational resonance.
And Sanskrit mantras specifically.
Yes, what's highlighted is the unique potency of Sanskrit mantras. The alphabets of the Sanskrit language are described as being endowed with special vibrational powers, which, when pronounced correctly and with precision, create harmonious wave patterns. To underline the scientific aspect, the source references Dr. Howard Steingall, an American scientist, who apparently established that recitation of Gayatri mantra produces 110,000 sound waves per second.
110,000 per second. That's huge.
It is. This numerical detail is crucial for scientific-minded listeners, offering a measurable impact of the chanting, far beyond what our ears can consciously register. The recitation of mantras during yagna is considered supplementary, meaning it perfectly complements the physical combustion process. The chanting patterns are so designed that they latently contain the essence of the music, or the quite essential sound of the torrent of life, sustaining energies emanating from the cosmic energy center of the corresponding mantras. For example, the sun is considered the cosmic energy center associated with the Gayatri mantra. These vibrations, produced by uttering the mantras, are said to be soothing to human mind, all plant and animal life, and help in spreading specific energy waves in the surrounding atmosphere as the oblations are offered. So it's a multisensory, multidimensional process where every element contributes to a specific desired outcome.
That's a profound integration of elements. Now, if we look at the bigger picture, one of the most compelling aspects of Yagna is its proposed environmental impact, essentially, how it actively works to heal the atmosphere. We're living in a time of unprecedented ecological challenges. Industrial wastes, rapid urbanization, deforestation, widespread air and water pollution, disturbances in the ozone layer, and even radioactive waves. All of these, as the source points out, have destabilized human, animal, and plant life cycles, creating an ecological imbalance that poses a truly disastrous threat to life on our planet.
It's a grim picture, absolutely. The consequences are dire and touch every aspect of our existence, increasing diseases, malfunctioning body organs, ozone layer depletion leading to painful sunburn, skin cancer, cataracts, and dangerously weakened immune systems. We're seeing drug-resistant viruses showing consistent growth. Against this truly alarming backdrop, Agnihotra is presented as a powerful counter-narrative, with its core philosophy encapsulated in a beautiful and almost poetic modus operandi. Heal the atmosphere, and the healed atmosphere will heal you. It suggests a fundamental reciprocal relationship between us and our environment that we've perhaps forgotten.
Heal the atmosphere, and the healed atmosphere will heal you. That's powerful. So what are the direct purification effects claimed?
Well, the source details how Agnihotra creates a pure, nutritional, and medicinal atmosphere. This atmosphere is said to lead to a reduced incidence of physical ailments, renewed brain cells, revitalized skin, purified blood, and importantly, the prevention of pathogenic organisms. It's painting a picture of a comprehensively healthier environment.
And there are scientific observations cited.
Yes, some intriguing ones. Dr. Hafkin, for instance, is quoted stating that mixing ghee and sugar and burning them creates smoke which kills the germs of certain diseases, and secretion takes place from some glands related to the windpipe, which fill our heart and mind with pleasure. Professor Tilward adds to this, suggesting that sugars in Havitia purify the atmosphere, killing germs of TB, measles, smallpox, and cowpox.
Okay, killing germs makes sense. But what about this radiation claim?
Ah, yes. Perhaps the most surprising observation cited is from Dr. Shirowich, a Russian scientist. He remarked on the protective qualities of cow products, stating that cow's milk protects from atomic radiation, cow dung-covered floors offer complete protection, and crucially, cow's ghee in Yagna fire lessens the effect of atomic radiation to a great extent. Now, that's a rather extraordinary claim. The source presents it as observed fact, suggesting a unique, almost shielding effect against such potent forces, challenging our conventional understanding of radiation protection.
That is extraordinary. Lessening atomic radiation. Wow.
Indeed. And more broadly, the medicinal fumes emanating from Agnihotra have been observed by microbiologists to be clearly bacterial lethal in nature, actively eradicating disease-causing microorganisms. This is presented as the reason why households regularly performing Agnihotra experience fewer physical ailments, essentially living in a self-disinfecting environment. The source then breaks down air purification into four main ways, offering a clear understanding of its multifaceted approach.
Okay, what are the four ways?
Firstly, removal of foul odors. The volatile oils we discussed earlier, like thymol, eugenol, pine, terpenol, and oils of sandalwood, camphor, and clove, diffuse efficiently with steam and smoke. This effectively replaces bad smells with their distinct good smell, creating a naturally pleasant and uplifting environment.
Makes sense. Number two.
Secondly, removal of bacteria. The partial oxidation of hydrocarbons and decomposition of complex organic substances during yagna produce formaldehyde, which we mentioned is a powerful antiseptic. What's more, formaldehyde's germicidal action is most effective in the presence of water vapor, which conveniently is produced in large quantities during yagna. The source even draws an analogy to common formaldehyde sprays used for disinfection, suggesting yagna performs a similar function naturally and effectively. Formic acid and acetic acid, both good disinfectants, are also produced, further enhancing the sterilizing effect. Furthermore, experimental studies on rabbits and mice have confirmed the powerful antibiotic effects of the fumes emitted, demonstrating its biological activity.
So it's like a natural disinfectant generator. What's the third way?
Thirdly, removal of insects. Non-bacterial parasites like flies, ringworm, lice, and fleas, which are often immune to ordinary bactericides, are either killed or driven away when they come into contact with the diffused volatile oils like camphor. So it acts as a natural pest deterrent, contributing to a healthier living space.
Okay, odors, bacteria, insects, and the fourth.
And fourthly, a very practical and significant claim. Agnihotra ash itself purifies and cleanses the water, making it fit for drinking. This suggests a direct, tangible benefit from the residual products of the yagna, extending its purification capabilities from air to water.
That's fascinating. A true multi-pronged approach to environmental health. And beyond the direct purification of the air and water, Yagna is also said to have a significant role in plant life and even strengthening the crucial CO2 cycle.
That's right. The diffused aromatic substances don't just affect human health, they also protect plant life from harmful organisms, thereby ensuring healthy plant growth. This leads directly to the concept of Agnihotra farming methods, described as a holistic concept. This involves growing plants in a healthy atmosphere, maintaining ecological balance by performing Agnihotra directly in the farm, and then using the yagna ash as a natural fertilizer. The source calls this approach not only safe and productive, but also holistic in its approach towards environment.
Now, you might be wondering, what does this all mean for CO2, especially given the global concerns about greenhouse gases? This is a point the source addresses directly and quite surprisingly. While burning wood does produce CO2, the method used in Yagna is described as slow combustion at higher temperature, which contrasts sharply with the rapid combustion found in factories or household fires. In Yagna's slow combustion, small quantity of O2 is utilized, and meager CO2 is emitted, posing no threat to the environment. In fact, whatever CO2 is generated is readily absorbed by the surrounding vegetation and CO2 cycle is strengthened. So, the key insight here is that Yagna's combustion is specifically designed to minimize negative atmospheric impact and actually integrate into natural cycles.
But the truly groundbreaking part is this. The CO2 produced in Yagna isn't always just free CO2, it's mixed with other aromatic oils and antiseptic products. This means it acts as a vehicle in transporting such products to distant surroundings, essentially carrying the healing compounds further afield. And on a personal level, small amounts of CO2 inhaled during yagna are described as a cerebral stimulant, helping to control and cure many mental disorders.
A cerebral stimulant, that's unexpected.
It is. And to add another surprising fact, the source mentions observations by Dr. L. Maila Antonin Haska of Poland using PSI techniques that particularly effective results with respect to the elimination or reduction in radiation were achieved through yagna's fire and ash. It makes you wonder how much we've overlooked in our pursuit of modern solutions.
Absolutely. But these aren't just theoretical claims, right? The source provides empirical evidence.
It does. From recent experiments that begin to validate these astonishing assertions. One notable study was conducted during the Ashwamedha Yagna at Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh, by a group of scientists led by Dr. Manohar Garg, Director of Environmental and Technical Consultants, in conjunction with the Uttar Pradesh Pollution Control Board.
Okay, what did they do?
The methodology involves setting up experiments about 20 meters from the Yagnishala, collecting 100 milliliter samples of air and water, and analyzing them using high-volume instruments. The results were quite telling and offered concrete data.
All right, let's hear them. Air samples first.
For air samples, they meticulously measured sulfur dioxide and nitrous oxide levels, both key atmospheric pollutants. Before the yagna, sulfur dioxide was 3.36 milligrams. During it dropped to 2.82 milligrams, and after the yagna, it was a mere 0.80 milligram.
Wow, that's a huge drop in sulfur dioxide.
A very significant reduction indeed. Nitrous oxide also showed a reduction from 1.16 milligrams before to 1.17 milligrams during and 1.02 milligrams after. While less dramatic than sulfur dioxide, it still represents a moderate but clear decrease. The core insight here is that yagna appears to actively reduce pollutants in the air.
Okay, and the water samples.
In water samples, the bacteria count was recorded, offering insight into its purification potential. Before yagna, it was 4,500. During it fell to 2,470, and after, it was 1,250. This demonstrates a clear and substantial reduction in bacteria, suggesting a potent sterilizing effect on water sources.
So cleaner air and cleaner water. What about the ash?
Good question. An analysis of the Yagna ash basm revealed a rich mineral composition, highlighting its potential as a natural resource. It contained 40 to 76 milligrams of potassium, 772 milligrams of phosphorus, 372 milligrams of potassium, 722 milligrams of calcium, 6,424 milligrams of magnesium, 32 milligrams of sarcogen and antrin, and 2% WW of quispar.
So it's rich in minerals.
Very much so. These results, as the source concludes, clearly support the claims made about the role of Yagna in control of air pollution. In fact, the Deputy Director, Agriculture, even submitted a technical report recommending Yagna's ash as an effective fertilizer based on these findings, seeing its practical applications. What's more, these weren't isolated results. Comparable results were obtained from scientific experiments conducted in about 27 large-scale yagnas, organized by Shantikunj, Hardware, both in India and abroad, between 1993 and 1995. This consistency of findings across multiple studies greatly reinforces the credibility of these claims.
Okay, so with all that compelling environmental evidence, let's now turn our attention to the fascinating realm of Yagnopathy, the medicinal applications of Yagna. It's a truly compelling idea, especially when we consider our modern health challenges. Despite all the scientific and technological advancements that have brought us immense comforts, there's a paradox. Modern life has also, perhaps surprisingly, brought greater stress and tension, more unknown diseases, untold anxiety and fear. Oh, wait. This is directly attributed to our highly polluted environment and ecological imbalance. That's a powerful aha moment for many of us, realizing that progress often comes with unseen costs to our well-being.
It really is. This situation, the source argues, raises an alarming call for rethinking and guiding our common lifestyle. And it presents Yagna as a boon of the ancient Indian sciences for achieving this purpose. While it acknowledges that the more subtle spiritual effects of Yagna might be challenging to demonstrate in a physical laboratory, it firmly asserts that the physical and mental effects of Yagnas can be certainly tested, and the claims to cure physical and mental diseases through Yagna can be verified. This brings it firmly into the realm of scientific inquiry and leaves us curious about its medical potential.
And this leads us directly to a truly novel method of administering medicine, one that challenges conventional medical approaches.
Yes, the source offers a critique of traditional medical administration. Orally administered medicines, for example, often only produce effects after a complex journey of digestion and absorption, often with much of the medicine going unused or even upsetting digestion, sometimes causing side effects. Injected medicines, while quicker to act, frequently have adverse side effects that are often more pronounced, as white corpuscles can resent intrusion of any foreign bodies into the blood, sometimes with serious or even fatal reactions.
Okay, so how is Yagnopathy different?
Yagnopathy, in stark contrast, offers a unique approach that bypasses these issues. Medicines and herbs are vaporized by offering them into the sacrificial fire, allowing them to enter the human body in a gaseous form through the nose, lungs, and the pores of the skin. The advantages of this method are truly significant. It's described as easiest, least taxing, least risky, and most effective method of administering a medicine so as to reach every single cell of the body. The core insight here is that by transforming medicines into an incredibly fine vapor, Yagnopathy could offer a more efficient, direct, and gentler route for therapeutic agents to permeate the entire body.
That's an extraordinary claim, a whole new paradigm for drug delivery. And the potential extends profoundly into mental health and psychosomatic diseases, areas where modern medicine often struggles. The source highlights that the diagnosis and treatment of mental disorders like neurosis, psychosis, schizophrenia, depression, tension, melancholia, mania, and hysteria are still in its infancy within modern medical systems. There's a recognized lack of well-established diagnostic aids or widely recognized treatment systems for these complex conditions.
And even more starkly, psychosomatic diseases. Those physical ailments exacerbated or caused by mental or emotional factors are described as even more rampant than physical diseases, and they wreck the man more than the latter. The stress and strain of modern life, the degradation of social behavior, and the fall in moral values are all seen as contributing factors to an alarming increase in these conditions. The manifestation of psychosomatic diseases, except in extreme cases, isn't always apparent, which might explain why they haven't received enough widespread attention. Here, Yagna is presented as potentially offering a solution to this serious problem as well. And it's not just about simple vaporization. The technique of Yagnopathy utilizes various samhitas to create the desired effects, pointing to a nuanced scientific approach that leverages the energetic properties of different materials.
So where is this research happening?
The primary hub for much of this groundbreaking research is the Brahmavarkas Shodha Sansthan in Hardwar, India. Established by Prince Shriram Sharma Acharya in 1979, it's described as a scientific research center dedicated to the integration of the modern and ancient sciences. It boasts a dedicated team of scientists, doctors, engineers, and scholars, alongside well-equipped laboratories for neurology, biochemistry, hematology, phytochemistry, sound therapy, and even a botanical garden of approximately 450 herbs, including some rare Himalayan species. It's a comprehensive facility focused on systematic investigation.
Okay, can you share some specific findings? What about neurophysiology?
Sure. In neurophysiological studies, Dr. Selvarmurthy conducted research on a special kind of Agnihotra performed specifically at sunset. 8 healthy men participated over 2 consecutive days. On day 1, a control recording was taken with irrelevant syllables uttered during similar rituals. On day 2, the proper Agnihotra with mantras was performed. Parameters like heart rate, ECG, EEG, brainwaves, GSR, galvanic skin response, and blood pressure were meticulously recorded on both days. The results were quite compelling. While brainwaves remained unaltered before Agnihotra, significant changes occurred after the proper Agnihotra. These included GSR remaining significantly higher, ECG showing a DC shift in the baseline, and EEG exhibiting alpha enhancement and delta suppression for more than 15 minutes.
Alpha enhancement and delta suppression, what does that mean in plain terms?
All right, good question. The alpha enhancement suggests increased states of relaxation and meditative awareness, a calm alertness. Delta suppression often points to a reduction in deep, non-REM sleep patterns, perhaps indicating less drowsiness, a more alert yet calm state. And the DC shift in the baseline of the ECG point to changes in the autonomic nervous system, suggesting a direct impact on stress response and overall physiological regulation. This insight reveals that Agnihotra isn't just about feeling calmer. It's measurably altering brainwave patterns and physiological states in demonstrably beneficial ways.
Fascinating. And what about Kirlian photography?
In another fascinating area, Kirlian photography was used by Dr. Matthias Verbinger of Germany to study the concept of prana, or vital energy, which is a core concept in ancient Indian traditions. Kirlian photographs of human hands before and after yagna showed an increase in the level of prana in the atmosphere, indicating a visible change in the energetic field surrounding individuals. This suggests a direct impact on the unseen life force.
Wow. And the lab setup itself?
The Yagnopathy laboratory itself is quite an impressive setup. It features a Havan Kunda, specifically placed in a gas chamber, equipped with a gas analysis wing to collect and meticulously analyze the fumes and vapors produced. The phytochemistry lab, with its gas-liquid chromatograph, assesses the efficacy of various Havisha ingredients, ensuring a scientific understanding of their chemical contributions. Blood samples are also kept in the gas chamber during Yagna to assess changes in blood biochemistry and hematological characters, looking for direct physiological alterations.
And they do human studies, too.
Extensively. Healthy and diseased individuals, including both sadhakas practitioners and non-sadhakas of all ages and backgrounds, participate on campus. Subjects sit in a glass chamber and inhale Yagna fumes for specific periods, with thorough analysis of their body and mind before and after the sessions. They measure a wide array of parameters. Hematological, like hemoglobin, total red blood cell count, platelets, and red blood cell fragility. Biochemical, blood urea, sugar, cholesterol, creatinine, SGOT, SGPT levels. Immunological, antibody levels, innate immunity. Endocrinological, cortisol, thyroxine, ACTH, androgens levels. Neurophysiological, EEG, EMG, ECG recordings, and even psychometric assessments, aptitude, learning potential, memory, IQ, EQ, and overall personality. Cases then followed regularly after Yagna treatment to track long-term effects.
That's incredibly comprehensive. So what's the overall takeaway from all this research?
Well, the general implications of the results obtained so far suggest that performing Yagna, quote, significantly enhances the vitality and resistance against adverse meteorobiological changes and the invasion of otherwise lethal viruses and bacteria. Now, meteorobiological changes here refers to the physical and biological shifts in our environment that can negatively impact health. Beyond these physical effects, the research also consistently observes mental peace, emotional stability, and creative development of the mind. The Institute plans to extend these studies to animals, birds, and plants to see how the energy released by Yagna affects the animal and vegetable kingdoms and the environment as a whole, painting a truly holistic picture of its impact.
These are just a few examples of how Yagnopathy is making a tangible difference, moving beyond theoretical claims to actual observable outcomes. The source provides some truly compelling case studies that really drive this home.
They really do.
First, let's look at a case of drug and alcoholic addiction. We hear about an officer, 25 years old, who is a polydrug abuser and heroin addict for 2 years. He had previously undergone de-addiction courses twice with no benefit. He had become resistant to conventional methods. He was then introduced to Agnihotra. The results were quite remarkable. A significant decrease of his urge for it within few weeks, and a profound improvement in his psychology to abstain from smack. The conclusion drawn is that Agnihotra helps by removing negative stereotype thoughts and motivates for positive approach by love and compassion, offering a new hope in this field where traditional psychotherapy had often failed. This truly highlights a potential avenue for addressing deeply entrenched behavioral patterns.
A very powerful example.
Absolutely. Another powerful example is diabetes management. A 72-year-old patient named Pandurang M. Patil, who had been diabetic for a year, presented with very high blood and urine sugar levels in May 1993. His fasting blood sugar was a staggering 285 mg/dt compared to a normal range of 70-110, and post-lunch was 530 mg/dt, normal up to 120, with plus for urine sugar in both. After starting daily Agnihotra by July 1993, just 2 months later, his fasting blood sugar had normalized to 95 mg/dt and post-lunch to 120 mg/dt, with urine sugar absent in both readings. The conclusion from this case report suggests that daily Agnihotra will be useful in treating a diabetic patient of any age, at any level, within 3 to 6 months. A truly astounding improvement in such a short period.
Astounding is the right word. Normalizing blood sugar like that?
Exactly. And perhaps the most dramatic and widely known anecdote comes from the Bhopal gas tragedy survival. On December 3, 1984, the poisonous MIC gas leak from Union Carbide killed hundreds and hospitalized thousands. Yet, 2 families, Shri Sohanlal S. Kushwaha and Shri M.L. Rathore, who lived just 1 mile away from the plant in the worst affected area, came out unscathed because they were regularly performing Agnihotra, Havan. The outcome was stark. No one died. Nobody was even hospitalized. This incredible observation, cited in the Hindi newspaper on May 4, 1985, as Vedic way to beat pollution, truly proves that Agnihotra is a powerful antidote to pollution. That's an extraordinary claim. How does the source even begin to explain such a powerful protective effect against a lethal toxic gas? It makes you genuinely pause and consider the unknown potential of this ancient practice.
It really does. It suggests a protective field or atmospheric change that's hard to explain with conventional science alone.
So, considering all these profound findings, from environmental cleansing to medicinal applications, the idea of daily practice becomes incredibly relevant and accessible. The modern predicament, with widespread environmental pollution and what the source calls a mechanical approach to life, is undeniably affecting our minds, bodies, and moral values. We see increasing diseases, stress, hatred, and social degradation all around us, and the conventional remedies that seemed effective just a few years ago are now often causing undesirable side effects.
It highlights an urgent need to neutralize environmental toxins and demoralizing factors at the same relentless rate they're spreading. The task of sustaining ecological balance, purifying the environment, and developing a healthy body and mind demands timely action from each and every individual. And that's where Bali-Vaishva Agnihotra comes in. It's presented as the cheapest and simplest positive effort in this regard, requiring only a few minutes to perform. What's truly remarkable is its universal accessibility. It's completely free from barriers of nationality, caste, creed, religion, age, or sex, etc. Anyone who wants to be healthy, happy, and stress-free is actively encouraged to start performing Agnihotra. Studies from Brahmavarcha's Shodh Sanstan have even shown excellent order of physical health and psychological development in regular practitioners, consistently observing a happy and helpful atmosphere. It's an empowering thought, a simple, universal practice that can yield such broad benefits.
And the timing is important too, right? It's not just random.
Not at all. The timing of Agnihotra is deeply rooted in the science of biological clocks, specifically studied by the Institute for Studies in Vedic Sciences in Akkalkot, Maharashtra. They've focused on Agnihotra as being tuned with the biological clock and the vital energy cycle of the planet and its inhabitants.
Sunrise and sunset.
Exactly. Sunrise and sunset are identified as the two most important transitional epochs of day on our planet. These moments exert a tremendous impact on living organisms and cause changes of great magnitude in the ecosphere. Synchronizing the performance of Agnihotra with these activated moments is believed to attract a stream of vital, life-sustaining energies of the solar system. So the key insight here is that you're not just burning offerings, you're harmonizing with the natural energetic rhythms of the planet to maximize the beneficial flow of life-sustaining energies.
So it aligns you with natural cycles.
Precisely. Physiologically, daily fluctuations in body temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, the ancient yoga and nadi systems, and even our breathing patterns are all greatly influenced by these planetary transitional moments. Agnihotra, by coinciding with these periods, plays an important role in harmonizing the natural functioning of human mind and body. The result is a continuous healing cycle. The beneficial effect of sunrise Agnihotra sustains the atmosphere until sunset, and sunset Agnihotra sustains it until sunrise, establishing an unending and active healing cycle in homes where it's performed daily. It's a continuous natural energetic therapy for your home and your body.
That's a powerful integration of daily practice with natural rhythms, and the simple key ingredients also have very specific, historically recognized properties. Take the cow dung cake, for instance.
Right. The medicinal qualities of cow products have been known since time immemorial in various ancient traditions. Chemically, cow dung contains fascinating compounds like menthol, ammonia, phenol, indole compounds, and formalin, all of which are believed to eradicate the pathogenic microorganisms. When burned, it possesses tremendous active beneficial properties. And surprisingly, some Russian scientists have even observed anti-radiational properties in cow dung, adding another layer to its perceived benefits, reiterating that incredible claim we heard earlier.
And the offerings? Just rice and ghee?
Simple but potent. The offerings themselves consist of 2 offerings of unbroken raw rice smeared with cow's pure ghee. Cow's ghee, according to Ayurveda, is considered not just a food, but a tonic and a cardiac stimulant. When burned, the invigorating gases it produces are said to balance the cycle of nature, removing pathogenic bacteria and purifying the atmosphere for all life, mankind, plants, and the life on Earth. So even these basic materials are chosen for their specific energetic and chemical contributions, reflecting a sophisticated understanding of natural pharmacology.
Okay, so for someone listening who might be interested, how is the daily ritual actually performed? Can you walk us through the steps?
Sure. It's quite straightforward, designed for accessibility. For sunrise Agnihotra, you begin fire preparation about 5 to 10 minutes before the actual sunrise. You arrange pieces of dry cow dung cakes in the precise copper pot, placing a small piece at the bottom, then adding guggle, camphor, or a ghee-soaked cotton wick. Arrange other pieces around it, leaving space for the offerings, then light the fire, fanning gently if needed until all pieces are fully ablaze, ensuring a strong, sustained flame.
Got it. Fire prep first, then materials.
Right. For material preparation, you take 2 pinchful of clean, unbroken rice grains on your left palm or a small dish, smear them with a few drops of cow's pure ghee, and carefully divide them into 2 equal parts. This methodical approach ensures precision in the offering.
Okay, fire ready, rice ready. What happens at sunrise?
For the morning Agnihotra itself, exactly at the precise time of sunrise, you utter the mantra Surya Swaha and offer the first part of the rice grains into the fire, immediately reciting Idam Surya Idam Namama. Then you offer the second part after saying Prajapati Swaha and utter Idam Prajapati Idam Namama. You then concentrate on the fire until the offerings are fully burnt, allowing the process to complete, concluding the morning Agnihotra.
And sunset. Is it the same?
Very similar. For the sunset Agnihotra, you first carefully remove the morning ash from the pot, being mindful, and place it in a designated bag or box, keeping it separate. Then you repeat the fire and material preparation procedures exactly as you did for the morning, preparing for the evening transition. Exactly at the precise sunset time, you recite Agni Swaha, offer the first part of the rice grains with the word Swaha, and then utter Idam Prajapate Idam Namama. You then concentrate on the fire until the offerings are fully burnt, concluding the evening Agnihotra and establishing that continuous healing cycle we discussed.
Now, what we've discussed so far really covers the physical science, the measurable and often surprising aspects of yagna, the chemicals, the physiological changes, the environmental impacts, but the source material makes it clear that the extremely subtle effects are by far the more important. This takes us beyond the material and into the unseen realms of energy and consciousness. The concept here is that just like humans, matter itself also has 3 bodies.
It's a fascinating concept. To help us understand this profound idea, let's use the human analogy the source provides. We have our physical body, the one that eats, sleeps, walks, and is visible, made of blood and flesh. But then there's the subtle body, which thinks, considers, and crucially controls the physical body. It's described as much more powerful. And finally, there's the causal or astral body, where our faith, convictions, and aspirations are deeply rooted. And this is considered several times more powerful than the subtle body. The implication is powerful. The substances, the havisha, used in yagna, also possess these subtle and causal dimensions, which can be profoundly influenced and directed. This completely redefines how we might think about matter and energy.
Okay, so matter isn't just inert stuff, it has these subtle layers. How does yagna work with that?
And this is precisely where the true potency of yagna lies, according to the source, in stimulating that causal energy underlying all the havisha through the prescribed rituals and precise timings. Without this stimulation, the source clarifies, the effects are limited to the physical chemical effects of vaporization. While these physical effects are certainly beneficial, removing foul smells, spreading soothing fragrance, or controlling virus infections, as we've discussed, they are considered an insignificant achievement as compared to the vast potential of yagna. This is a crucial distinction, highlighting that the ritual goes far beyond basic aromatherapy or disinfection. The selection of a particular wood or havan samagri is not arbitrary. It depends on the purpose for which yagna is performed, indicating a precise energetic science at play, tailored to specific outcomes.
So if the causal energy is key, how do we stimulate it? You mentioned mantras earlier.
Exactly. To stimulate this causal energy, the help of the science of mantras is taken. This isn't just casual chanting. The conductor of yagna takes immense precautions to ensure that the mantras are uttered, pronounced, and appropriated correctly in the pitch, voice, rhythm, and tone duly prescribed, emphasizing that strict discipline is required to be maintained and there should be no deviation. This precision is absolutely critical, much like tuning a sensitive scientific instrument.
And there's a science to the mantras themselves.
Yes. The source introduces Shabda, the eternal and cosmic sound, as Brahm, explaining how at subtler, higher levels in mantras, Shabda transforms into potential energy. The entire mantra shastra is based on the idea that the selection, interlocking, and appropriation of words in a mantra are meticulously designed to get miraculous advantage by making the causal energy of Shabda specifically enhanced and made more powerful. Even preparation of the yagna is infused with this intention. All the pots and even water used in the yagna are purified by specific mantras before use, and the firewood, samhitas, are washed, dried, and used after they are duly sanctified by mantras. These processes, along with Vedi Pujan, worship of the altar, and Yagnashala Pujan, worship of the ritual space, are performed to make the Havan Kund live with awakened causal energy, creating a scientific process of mass medication which strengthens the spiritual basis of the yagna process. It's generally experienced that this atmosphere is compatible and alluring for attaining spiritual uplift, which makes perfect sense if you're stimulating these subtle energies. The source even cites Dr. Motohama of Tokyo, Japan, who studied Agnihotra's effects on electric fields around the body, reporting that after performing an Agnihotra, the Anahata chakra, cardiac plexus, exhibits similar condition that exists after psychic and spiritual healings. This points to a measurable internal energetic shift.
Wow. So the mantras and rituals energize everything involved. This raises an important question. What happens when mantras are chanted not just by an individual, but collectively by a group? Does that amplify things?
Great question. The source indicates that when a mantra is chanted collectively during a yagna, its sonic power increases exponentially due to several compounding factors. It's not just an additive effect, but a multiplicative one.
Exponentially? How?
Well, several factors contribute. Firstly, the sound waves collide with the thinnest flame screen of the quivering fire, generating high-frequency vibrations. The fire itself acts as an amplifier or transducer. Secondly, these sound waves engage in subtle interactions with the cosmic energy center, devta, associated with their specific configurations as Kari Shabdos. This refers to the energetic resonance between the sound and specific cosmic forces or principles. Thirdly, these effects are compounded by fundamental thermodynamic effects associated with the fumigation of the sacrificed Havisha in the Yagna fire. The heat and chemical reactions further energize the process, and finally they are further amplified by the vital, mental, and causal energies of the people who are in performing the yagna. So the participant's own consciousness actively contributes to the power of the ritual.
So the collective intention and energy matters hugely.
Immensely. And what's truly profound is the description of how these sound waves propagate. Instead of their natural circular motion, they are carried upwards in a spiral form by the force of the electrons generated by fumigation of the Havisha after sublation in Yagna fire. The mutual collisions of these fast-moving electrons, combined with the superimposed, timely phased collective sonic patterns of the mantras, result in penetration and doubt of the ionosphere, leading to infinite radiant effects in the outer space. This is a truly profound and surprising claim for the listener, suggesting a cosmic reach for a seemingly localized ritual, affecting the very fabric of space beyond our planet.
Penetrating the ionosphere, spiraling sound waves. That's an absolutely mind-bending concept. And it leads us to a crucial point about the authenticity of the reciters. It's not just about technical precision in chanting, it's about their consciousness. The source emphasizes that subtle effects of mantras on the consciousness are accomplished only if the reciters are authentic. This means they must demonstrate proper and controlled use of their voice and tongue, but critically it must be in conformity to the integrity and sanctity of their thoughts, emotions, character, and deeds in every aspect of life. This directly connects the spiritual and ethical aspects of the individual to the scientific outcome of the yagna. It's an integration of inner state and outer action.
It's a really key point. Ancient Indian scriptures even classify 4 levels of voice, or vani. Baihari, which is audible speech; Madhyama, which operates at the level of thought; Para, a deeper intuitive level; and Pashanti, the most subtle visionary level. The source explains that wonders of ultra and infra levels of sound can be achieved by the refinement of the first and most elementary, Baikari. Further refinement of Madhyama, which operates in the domain of thought waves, then leads to Para and Pashanti, described as vanas for spiritual communications and conversation with the Brahm. The implication is powerful. If a spiritually refined expert performs a yagna, the mantras recited by him or her contain the impact of all the 4 awakened vanis. Such yagnas are believed to create a spiritually charged atmosphere, which elevates the consciousness of all living beings along with harmonizing the material systems in nature. This is a truly holistic vision, integrating personal development with environmental and cosmic impact. The source concludes this section by stating that the advancement of the ongoing research in the material-based analysis of the effects of yagnas, along with of the subtle science of Yagna and Gayatri, would ensure bringing a bright future for humanity and for the life on this earth as a whole. A future where ancient wisdom and modern science walk hand in hand.
A future integrating the subtle and the material. That's a powerful vision.
It is.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, our deep dive today has taken us on a truly expansive journey. From Yagna's profound philosophical roots as selfless sacrifice, through its surprising and intricate scientific mechanisms involving heat, specific fumigating substances, and the vibrational power of sound, to its measurable impact on environmental purification and human health, which they call Yagnopathy. We've explored compelling evidence from scientific studies and remarkable case reports that lend significant credence to these ancient claims. What this really reveals is that Yagna presents itself as a holistic system, addressing both our physical world and our inner states, with scientific evidence now beginning to validate what was once considered purely spiritual.
That's right. The practical implications of this deep dive for you, the listener, are truly transformative. You've heard how a simple daily practice like Agnihotra, when timed with nature's rhythms, could potentially cleanse your immediate environment, boost your personal well-being, improve mental health, and even, remarkably, offer protection against unforeseen dangers like toxic gas. It offers a unique blend of personal agency in creating a healthier living space and contributing to a broader communal and environmental benefit. It's a fascinating reevaluation of what we consider science and tradition, inviting us to look for solutions in unexpected places.
This raises an important question, one that resonates deeply with our mission. If the subtle energies of sound and intention harnessed through practices like yagna can influence our environment and physiology so profoundly, what other ancient wisdom might be waiting to be rediscovered and scientifically validated, not just for individual benefit, but for the collective well-being of our entire planet?
Consider the power of intention, sound, and a little bit of fire. Could the path to a healthier, more harmonious future be found not just in brand new scientific discoveries, but also in forgotten traditions and ancient knowledge that we're only just beginning to truly understand? We invite you to continue your own deep dive into these fascinating possibilities.